There you are. Oh, I thought we'd have to do the show without you, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting will be a thrill. Grandpa and chill, grandson and friends. Podcasting Grandpa and chill will be a thrill, grandson and friends. With your hosts, Grandpa Barton, Brandon Fox, Phines Jackson, and Sierra Dawes. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Devastating.
People be peopling.
Really wildin'.
For your top 10 animals, would you put humans in the top 10, Sierra?
I don't know. I don't think about animals that much. I don't even know if I'd have it.
Let me pull up my list.
I had a top 10, right? Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're pretty cool.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. We like them. Grandpa, humans, you like those animals? They're pretty cool.
Which animals are we referring to?
If you had to do a top 5 list of animals, would humans be on that top 5 list?
Probably not.
There's a lot of cool animals, TBH.
Yeah.
I like animals more than people, probably. Not all people, but some people.
I don't like animals. No, I do like animals that see a reflection. I don't know. Humans are okay.
Some are, some aren't.
Kind of scary.
Like, if you pick, like, the top 10 most embarrassing humans and the top 10 most embarrassing, like, chimpanzees, panthers, blue whales, there's no contest.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you would put them ahead of humans, or
I'm saying there's no way. Like, the most like we were just talking about Cuomo, like, nearing the top of the list of most recently embarrassing people. But what's a chimpanzee gonna do that's gonna embarrass all the chimpanzees? Maybe just jump off a cliff because he didn't know it was a cliff.
They don't even know better. Yeah, like when they make bad decisions, it's not a bad decision because they're not like consciously making
right.
it.
They're just being
Cuomo's
dumb. Like Cuomo will be like doing shit on purpose and then acting like I'm just a humble Italiano man. I can't help it. I'm just gotta.
Yeah, I was no disrespect to the Republicans, but I'm always a little skeptical of Republicans at first. So when I moved here, I didn't know much about Cuomo because I'm from Indiana. So when I met this like really nice Republican, or really like, oh, look at him taking charge, I was like, I don't know. And it was right.
No.
I'm still the biggest thing. I mean, all of this is terrible, but all those lives lost for the people in the homes, retirement homes, and that nursing homes. That I mean, that's pretty messed up. A lot of blood on his hands.
I didn't understand that, Phines, as far as the nursing homes.
During COVID, Cuomo was like just allowing people to go back and forth to retirement homes, not really testing them, not really caring if they were tested or if they had COVID, not letting them see their family. A lot of people, elderly people, were separated from the family and passing away without seeing them, and there wasn't like it just wasn't safe. They could have done a lot about it, like for the employees and the staff and the actual customers there, which are the elderly people. They weren't really held the best.
And the numbers were fucked, weren't they?
Okay. Yeah, and he skewed some numbers up about like everything's okay.
You're welcome, Grandpa.
Why? What am I welcome for?
We kept you safe. Out of that,
kept you
shit.
from Cuomo.
Okay, I get it now. I have a slow understanding of your sense of humor.
Cuomo's gonna be like the Candyman of old people. Go into the bathroom, turn lights off, and say Cuomo 3 times.
Cuomo, and your whole retirement home is fun. It's so terrible, though. It's literally so terrible. And while that was happening, everybody, all these fucking morons are like, oh yeah, Cuomo 2024. I want to see this man run. Oh yeah, like you're so like all these weirdos that were so desperate for like some basic functional government.
There's a video called Cuomo Sexual put on by Randy Rainbow on YouTube.
They were like, Cuomo Daddy was like trending for like weeks, and this person wrote a book about how well he handled the COVID crisis while he's letting these thousands of people die in homes and pretending it's not happening. Impeccable.
Yeah. They didn't know. We all didn't know.
Impeccable.
But what he said, I don't know if it's true or not, that the goalposts have been changed as far as what is acceptable and what is not. Is that
no,
true?
No, that's not correct.
Not true.
He said that, but it's not correct. No one liked being liked being molested in the 80s. No one liked being molested in the 70s. No one liked being molested in the 90s.
Well, what annoys me is that the Democrats that get in problems like this sort of they give up their position or their office very quickly, but it seems that the Republicans who have just as much on their heads as the Democrats don't give up their positions, and and I don't understand that.
Well, we want that. That's what you want. No one wants a serial molester, a serial alleged molester. I don't know, but according to Letitia, to just keep working there and just keep pretending that what he's doing isn't molesting people. But that's a Republican problem. It's not like a Democrat problem. Like, we can't be mad at Democrats for having like this much dignity weeks after they've been caught to actually, just stop being embarrassing.
Yeah, maybe there's dang, I hate pigeonholing people. But there's probably a little bit of an entitlement on the Republican side of like, I deserve to be here and I'm supposed to be here, and who's going to do a better job than me here? And then maybe on the Democratic side, it's more like, my reputation, it's been ruined. No one ever can see me again. And then they run.
I feel like, too, there's an attitude more on the Republican side of things where, like if you're a Democrat and you're looking at Republicans, you can just say, they have poor values, they want to do bad things, blah, 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 blah. But then if you, like, go on the other side and Republicans are telling you that Democrats are literally, like stabbing babies, like once they're born, and like stealing their blood and their stem cells, and, do like just crazy shit. Like there's almost like more urgency in some ways, because in some people's minds, if you don't just fervently support this Republican, no matter what they do, then the alternative is going to be, like actual rapture type of stuff. And that's like, that seems one-sided to me. I don't really hear about, there was more doom and gloom about Trump kind of in that sense, but it still wasn't like to the degree of the things that I hear, conservatives say about Democrats.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of the two-party system in general. I think there should be way more of them. A lot more parties people can vote for. I don't think I'm a Democrat or Republican. They both kind of make me feel some type of way.
Well, they've had other parties like the Green Party and the
Those are
Independents
embarrassing
and this
too.
and that, but they've never gotten anywhere.
Those are embarrassing too. It's like, what are you gonna tell me? What are you here for? Okay, I represent recycling. Okay, well, so does like 80% of America. Like, what else do you have? What else do you have to tell me? What else? You can't just talk to me about the water bottles that I'm recycling. You can't just tell me to recycle milk jugs and shit. What was the other big one a couple years ago? It was the Green Party, and was it the Libertarians?
Libertarian.
Embarrassing. Like, yep. I mean, how do you get to the grandest political stage and just have like hardly anything of substance? How do we keep getting here?
We should do the Black Panther Party. Let's do it. That'd be great.
Something substantive.
I know the first thing people will go is like, "Oh man, that's so inclusive." I'm like, "Well, you didn't say that about the Green Party."
The Green Party. I couldn't tell you two things. I can at least tell you like some. I could at least give you like some basic me level understanding of libertarians or the Libertarian Party. I literally couldn't tell you a thing about the Green Party except I don't know, recycle. I assume I don't know any. I couldn't tell you anything.
Yeah, I mean, though, we really should probably talk about the world and how it's burning up.
And that's the thing too. Go ahead.
No, it's just Italian. I mean,
Italian.
Italian. In Italy, was it Italy? Where's it 100? Where is it 118 degrees at right now?
I don't know. Probably Arizona.
It's somewhere they do Celsius. I had to look it up. It's like 48 degrees Celsius. Where is it at? Someplace hot. I should know this. Mediterranean area. Let me look at the news here.
It was 99 today in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, it was Italy and Spain.
Damn.
Hot as all get out there. 48 degrees Celsius, which is 118 degrees Fahrenheit. For people that do not know, that's hot.
And that's the thing that kills me too, is like I'm not gonna solve climate change by recycling my milk jugs and not buying any more 100 packs of straws. I'm just not gonna do it. Nestle could stop, fracking the land for water bottles, and if all these tech companies could stop, literally just I didn't set the ocean on fire, is what I'm saying. I didn't do that, and we can track where the oil actually came from that did set the ocean on fire, and then we can just look and say, oh, wow, that's so crazy. The ocean's on fire. That's the extent of what I can do for climate change, is just say, wow, that's so crazy. I don't have the power or the funds to create this destructive level of climate change.
Yeah. On second thought, top 5 viruses of the earth. I bet humans are like number 1. We destroyed this. We destroyed this place.
We're in agreement.
We destroyed this place. We didn't. Yeah. Oh yeah. We do a good job.
Embarrassing. That's what I'm saying. Embarrassing. They wouldn't.
You drop us off on any planet, and the planet gonna last like 400, 500 years tops.
We're going to have like a solar system. There's going to be like a solar system, state of emergency, there's a new pandemic, solar pandemic. It's just us.
Except for the fact that it looks like the viruses might win the war against humans.
Maybe. We're kind of like cockroaches, though. It's hard to get rid of us.
I was just talking about how funny it is now that they're making everybody get vaccinated this time. Even the schools aren't playing with the mask mandates. Like a judge, I think it was today, a judge was just like, he put a restraining order on Texas's ban on mask mandates. See how complicated it gets when you're stupid? There's a restraining order on a ban on a mandate.
I don't get it.
He banned, so the governor of Texas banned any like districts or cities from imposing a mask mandate on their region.
Oh.
And then so he said, no one, don't ever try. I don't want to see anybody trying to prevent the spread of this hoax disease. I don't want to see it. And then the judge, like today or yesterday, put a restraining order on that ban and said, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, Greg. Mm-hmm. But I was just telling somebody, like, I was just talking, this week about how funny it is that, they're not playing around. You're not going to cost these people any more damn money playing games and pretending that this isn't real.
Yeah, and it's sure dragging on a long time.
Yes, it might be here for quite a while.
I think it's sapping a lot of energy from our country.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. A lot of uncertainty.
We have a doorman. I live in a condo, and he's always been a very upbeat guy, but lately he hasn't been. And I mentioned to him the other day, he used to be like really humorous with me, and he said, well, this is a tough time right now.
Yeah.
And I guess his personality changed, really.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Brandon, how you doing?
I'm just so good all the time. Just upbeat all around for me.
Oh, it's good. We needed a little bit of a wrench in the whole thing of things either. So I'm glad you came here. Please tell us more about how positive and great your life is.
How's my volume?
Were you pulling our leg?
Just that mission statement.
That's good.
How's my volume? Is it too loud?
No, you're good. You're good.
No.
Everybody's thriving.
Let's take a second to say the worst thing that can happen right now, and then be like, "Hey, I'm grateful that ain't happening right now."
I mean, to be honest, and it's probably irrational, but when I was living in New York City, I was really not constantly, but sometimes it'd be like, "Damn, like this is one of the worst cities to live for nuclear bombing." So glad I don't live there, sucker.
I mean, unless you don't. I mean, this outside looking in, I want to die with people. I don't want to be like the person that survives. Like nuclear bomb goes off, and you're one person in like Alabama
or even
New
Jersey. I was literally thinking like,
yeah,
where I grew up is right outside of the range. You just watch.
Yeah. And so what? All your friends will be gone.
Oh,
what fun is that?
Benen texted me. Sorry.
He's been waiting. I don't know what to do when people wait because we're not ready, but I don't know.
Benen is chill. I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Bring some positivity in here.
Who could do the most positive intro for this show?
Honestly.
Not me.
Yeah, Brandon, it's you.
Welcome to another episode of
Sierra
Grandpa.
Seems very upbeat. Phines
so
seems very
upbeat.
upbeat. You seem upbeat.
Let me get the beats in. I'll do it if I can get the beats in.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
You seem like
To
real
the media
upbeat
board.
today.
What's this one?
They brought the media board back.
I'll be your ad-libber.
Okay. This is sick. Get ready for the beat to drop, people. You're not ready. Okay. All right, we're going live.
Yeah.
It's Brandon Fox, Phines Jackson, Bart Frank, Sierra Doss, Grandpa and Chill, episode 48. Welcome to the podcast. You guys aren't even ready for this. I don't know what we're going to talk about. You're about to find the hell out because we have our boy Benen on the track.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Bienvenido, señor. Welcome to the podcast.
It's a pleasure to be on.
MC.
Yes.
We missed you, Benen.
Hello, Benen.
Yeah,
Good to
it's
see
been
you.
quite a few months, I think, since I was last on.
Yeah,
Right?
You've moved into a vampire's lair in the meantime.
Oh no, we
Is
just
that
got black curtains out to improve the lighting. Whoop! Somebody's
lagging a
driving
little
by.
Yeah, it sucks. It's okay. We can't hear it. I didn't know if that was shadow or if you had a chin beard, but I think it's the
I
shadow.
do have a beard though.
Hey.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Wow.
I tend to. I just hate shaving.
You don't like a shaved face?
I like the shaved face. I don't like doing the work
Who has
because
the
nobody
time?
wants to cut themselves shaving.
It's true. It's true.
So are we all just logging on here now, or because I thought we were supposed to start at 6:30?
Nah, we've been here chilling. We do like a 15, 20 minute like get the ball rolling and filling it out, and then we send people in. But we're trying to play around with it. Maybe next time we'll have you come in here and kick it with us.
No, I
don't know.
understand that. I just thought because I had never worked with Riverside before, I thought we were having technology problems. That's all.
I got you.
Yeah, it's
We
pretty
don't really
used,
have
pretty
those
used.
here.
Thank goodness, because
We don't do the technical problems. No, wrong.
not
show.
yet anyway. Hey,
Not yet. That's that's
No,
better.
I was stepped away, but
Yeah.
the rest of the gang was talking about the world, something, I don't know.
We mostly were making fun of Cuomo, and then it escalated.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's a monster underneath your bed.
Oh.
I'm joking. You don't want him
You
under
really
your bed.
don't.
It's New York's governor or
Yeah.
something?
Oh, I've never been to New York, so I wouldn't know a thing about that.
He got accused
It's
of
nice.
Touching all of his coworkers, and then he was
Oh,
like,
jeez.
"I ain't touching no coworkers. You know what? Launch an investigation. Do it. Clear my name. I don't care." And then they just released the results of it Monday, and he very clearly touched all of his coworkers, and so he resigned.
So we should get a
Today,
room with.
yesterday.
He also made like a
Should get a
slot.
room with Cosby.
Go ahead.
Honestly,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cosby's
Um,
not in jail anymore.
I know,
Right.
right?
So that means they can get a room. That means they can get a room
Yeah,
together.
I don't think he should have been let out.
No,
they can go tour
wonderful.
like those other two dummy congressmen.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's not them. Who's touring? Aren't Trump and Bill O'Reilly supposed to tour in like December?
Are you serious?
I
I didn't hear.
What are
about
they
that.
doing?
Yes.
Did one of them learn acoustic guitar or something? Are they going to be like?
I didn't get fired. I willingly left.
I'll call this one.
Simon and Garfunkel
I ain't impeached.
cover band?
Yeah.
Loyal and Hardy.
Hello,
That'd be great.
Impeach me, I
my
quit.
friend.
Hello, darkness. You know they don't got no friend named Darkness.
Boy, if this is how we're
man.
starting, we're in for a good one.
Honestly. Well, what's new, Benen? How you been?
Oh, I have been very busy trying to find different jobs on the Backstage website.
Yeah.
I did.
Anything to pique your interest?
Well, a lot of things, mostly in the voiceover department. I think I've got about 36 complete applications, and now it's just a matter of like picking up, like looking for more recent ones every day, and then be like, it's also annoying. Like, here I am waiting for them to pick, or you get the notice
know.
that thanks
Yeah.
for applying, but you didn't get picked. So it's a lot
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
like Hollywood.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Phines.
This is it. I mean, I was gonna ask you what do you have to do for applications?
Well,
What's the application process
It's a
like?
lot like getting a real job. You have your resume, you fill out a cover letter.
Damn.
Oh no, the voice actor
He sure
guild.
did say. No technical problems
We'll
yet.
never know.
The voice actor is like, you're not telling our secrets.
We want to keep people
Backstage
out.
secret Illuminati.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why there's only like a couple of them that have the same voices
Here
over
we
and
go.
over again.
Bennon's the best though. I sent him I was like, hey,
Backstage silencing you, bro.
It cut me out again.
I
Just
sent
like
him.
Queen
I
Feed.
sent him a text. I was like, "Hey, we sometimes get specific topics these days. Like, send me a list of topics." And Benon was like, "Here's 20." I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Oh wow, what are they?
Well, you said
let's
5
go
or
through
10,
them.
so
All right.
I think we lost the two of them again.
They got your face is frozen on your tongue is sticking out. It's hilarious. But do you have your list of 20 topics?
Yeah, I do. I sent them to Brandon via text as well, so he's got them. Let me just get it up for a second on my own phone.
Y'all can just go back and forth.
Yeah, so the topics I chose were pro wrestling because I've been addicted to it since I was 8 years old and I'm 23 now. Living with cerebral palsy because I thought that I could provide an interesting perspective on that kind of a thing. In my 23 years, I've traveled quite a bit, so I thought I might have a few adventures for
Hold on.
adventures for that.
Let's stop on them. Let's do these. Let's
Yeah.
let's do them. Come on. Let's do the first one.
Wait, what one do you want to do?
Let's go through all of them, as many as we can through the episode.
Okay,
Why not? You did all
I
that
want to hear
work.
about the pro wrestling.
Number 4 was working in radio, because that's what I went to school for. Number 5, how students are taught today versus back in maybe Grandpa's day, or maybe not so far back, depending on how you want to go.
pretty far
let me
back.
see. Here we go. And 6, working at an equine therapy farm, which I still do on occasion. Number 7, the life of my favorite actor, Jim Carrey. Number 8, working
This is gonna be great.
at the Minden Cultural Center, which is a museum I worked at. Number 9, the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. And number 10,
Damn.
David Attenborough.
Oh, I like
Okay,
all of those.
all right.
Thank you.
Let's do it. Let's start from the top.
Well, I don't
Why
know
not?
if you can
Wrestling.
fit all of it in 2 hours, so.
We're gonna make it work. I want to hear. I do want to hear.
Yeah, let's try
Damn it!
We're gonna make it work.
Gra-
Boom. Goodbye.
No, you're not.
Well, Grandpa, what do you think about
We're being
wrestling?
silenced. We're being
What
censored.
do I think about what?
Wrestling, pro wrestling.
Well, I know that it's kind of fake, but I guess those guys are pretty hefty, pretty strong to be thrown around like that. I'd watch it occasionally, but not very often, and not for quite some time.
Would you ever go to a live show,
Yeah.
Are you asking me or Grandpa?
Would. Yeah.
Grandpa?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
All right,
once,
yeah.
you know,
What about
not as a regular thing.
yeah? What about Brandon? What you think about pro wrestling?
So I used to shit on it a lot, thinking that it was fake. But a friend got me into it a couple years ago, and it's actually not almost as hard as like professional like MMA or something, but it's like comparing apples and oranges, and it's such a difficult sport. When I listen to the interviews with those pro wrestlers, I heard one with what is it, The Undertaker? Is that the name, Benen? Is that one of them?
Yeah.
Like the amount of surgeries that he had to undergo and what they put their bodies through, it's much worse than most sports, and a lot of different pro stuff. So I have a lot of respect for it,
They're
actually,
not
and it's
little
pretty
guys.
cool.
They're not little guys. They're being thrown around and
Yeah.
hitting the floor. And all
It might be choreographed, like it might be prepared, but it's not fake. Like if someone gets a table slammed over their head, they're actually getting a table slammed over their head, So.
Right.
Exactly. And I've been watching it since 2006, so a long time.
Yeah.
What have you seen change? Sorry, I'm so sorry, Brandon.
You're good.
Well, I mean, it depends on what organization you talk about. Like with WWE, they have very strict, like they've gotten stricter on drug policies. So it's like even if you smoked marijuana, you would get suspended for 30 days for doing a joint. And then if you did it 3 times, you get fired. And then you're not allowed to... They used to legitimately hit you in the head with a chair, but now you're not allowed to do that due to what we know about CTE and all that. And what they used to do in
So what did they hit you at with the chair?
Well, they hit you in the head legitimately with the chair, and nowadays they use the chair, but they lay it flat and they hit you in the back, or they hit you with the side in the ribs.
Okay.
But
Whereas
the chair is still a part of it.
Yeah, but it's still a steel chair. They're like, yeah. But back in,
I don't even know if I could pick one
I
up.
said, don't
Like
worry,
back-
guys. We're still keeping the chair.
like back 10 years ago, if a guy was going to hit you with a chair because it's planned, the opponent would say, "Don't make it look weak. Hit me hard."
Oh no.
And they don't in WWE. They don't use blood anymore.
Wait. So what?
That's real blood.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes wrestlers get cut open by accident when they get hit with something. That's called the hard way. The real way is that they would hide tips of a cut-up razor blade underneath tape in their hands. And then when the opponent goes down and the camera turns away, then they make little lines.
What?
They make little lines in their forehead. That's why if you see an older...
You know what? I think I've seen this.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why if you've seen an older wrestler and you look at his forehead, there's all ridges.
Mm-hmm. I do remember. Yeah, I you're funny saying that because I'm not a big fan of wrestling. I'm not a big fan of like fighting sports in general. They make me kind of cringe. But I do remember seeing people have like scratches on their face. I'm like, how did someone get that cut on their face like that? But now you're giving me some information. Wow. I you know what? I really like Rey Mysterio because he was the same height as me, or close to the same height. When I was younger, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to be like Rey Mysterio.
Oh, he's still going. He's still going in 2021.
How old is he? Like 50?
No. He was born in 75. So that makes him
he's like in his
40s.
Wow, close, same thing.
No, wrestlers.
That's still pretty good.
20 years ago, if you were 40, you were considered old in wrestling.
Wow.
So they're purposely cutting themselves with razor blades?
Yeah, to tell the story, because back in the day, for a long time until the internet came out, nobody really knew how it worked. And they would use that as an element of storytelling to make it feel like, oh my god, he hit the post and he cut his forehead open. What a valiant wrestler. He's still fighting despite the blood loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been to
crazy.
several events, and I've even done commentary for a few.
What? Wow, I could see you doing commentary for it.
Yeah, sadly, they're not always hiring, because usually if you get a spot like that, you got it for the next 2 decades.
Yeah.
If you're good.
Yeah.
Are some of these
I'm
wrestlers
just-
like ex-pro football players?
Not all of them. Everybody's different. It's just the big organizations tend to look for the football players because they'll already be in athletic shape, and at some point, or they would look maybe in the 70s and the 80s if you had high amateur wrestling credentials. Then they would teach you, okay, this is how you wrestled in amateur, and here's the difference. Because it's planned, you will lose once or twice. You'll do what we tell you, but here's how you do it safely. Go ahead.
How did we about to say?
Is there
Sierra?
any like fan overlap between pro wrestling and like the more official like Olympic type of like formal wrestling, or is it more just like the theater of pro wrestling that you enjoy?
You're asking why I enjoy it. Okay, I was just,
I mean, I guess
first of all,
like is there generally like your opinion, and like is there generally an overlap, because like they seem really different to me, but I don't know anything about wrestling.
they are very different. But I think what happens is with wrestling for pros, it's all year round, versus with the Olympics, it's in high school, and then you go to the Olympics for the medal, and then that's it. Whereas wrestling, the pro is 365 all year round.
Yeah.
So you get to see it more often on a national stage. Like WWE is worldwide. There's other promotions in every different state of the country. You just have to look far enough.
Benen, who are a few of your favorite wrestlers?
Okay. Well, it kind of leads to a story. There's a foundation like Make-A-Wish. It's called Sunshine Dreams. And my dream when I was 10 was to meet a pro wrestler for the first time. So they made the dream come true, and they sent me and my family to Miami, Florida for a week, where they were doing a taping of the show. And I wanted to meet CM Punk, who you guys might not know, but I also met, who was a surprise to meet us, Dave Bautista, who was Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So they kind of hold a special sentimental to me because they were the first show I ever got to go to live, because beforehand I was only watching wrestling on Fridays on my antenna TV set at home. And it was my first time out of Canada, so... Holy moly, that was in 2008. That was a long time ago. I'm old.
Yeah, oh man. Wow, I'm learning about all these people. What? First of all, I guess I thought I knew, but there's 2 Rey Mysterios. His uncle?
No.
Is like an uncle named Rey Mysterio, and then him named Rey Mysterio? Okay, I'm sorry. Please tell me.
Okay, so this goes back to the Mexican culture of professional wrestling, because every part of the country does it differently. What happens is Rey Mysterio is called what's called a luchador. So what happens is his uncle originally held the name of Rey Mysterio. And then when Rey Mysterio, the one we know now, finished training, the name was passed on.
Wow, that's so cool.
So it's like a family heirloom.
I mean, it does mean Rey is king in Spanish anyway, so it's
Yep.
King Mysterio.
Mysterious King.
So it's cool that they passed on the crown.
Yep.
And I just don't get how he was a heavyweight champion and the dude only weighs like 170. How did you win the heavyweight champion?
Well, there's a big...
Doesn't even make sense.
Well, okay, it might not make sense to you, but when you watch wrestling at the time, nobody in the United States was really seeing any of the kind of stuff that he does. Back in the 90s and the 80s, they weren't really allowed to do that because you had the big giants over in the U.S., like Hogan, Bundy. So it was basically, we can't really do anything with these guys because it's not believable. They would just get squashed by our giants. So it makes no sense. So now in the 90s, a gentleman by the name of Eric Bischoff came up with the Cruiserweight division, which was a kind of a lightweight division of the championship, so everyone else got a title shot. But as time devolved and you develop a relationship as a fan of the wrestler, size doesn't matter when you love the guy. Size doesn't matter when the fans want to see him.
It's true.
What matters is he making money?
Yeah. Oh.
Besides, he won in a triple threat match, so it gives him a chance to maybe take advantage of a weaker opponent that's been beaten up quite a bit. And
Wow.
he is one of the
I'm learning so
smaller
much.
guys, but he can still put up a fight when he wants to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Wow. CM Punk. I'm just reading up on these people. I don't know who they are.
Oh, yeah. There's thoughts that
CM
he
Punk.
might be going back to wrestling, but it's been since 2000.
Oh, is he not an act? Is he not a wrestler anymore?
He left in 2014 because, well, he got fired on his wedding day by his last promoter.
Damn.
Wow.
So he was a little bitter about the business after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, despite the
Interesting
fact that
stuff.
it's a fun business, but it's not always a happy business. Besides, a lot of the guys that were around in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s even, they died rather quickly because of drugs and stuff. Drugs, head trauma, booze. Because they didn't
live
know...
long, right?
Yeah, they did. Well, it's not primarily because of like, oh, they just dropped. It's primarily because of all the pain that they have to deal with because of all the injuries.
Right.
They will try to
trauma.
self-medicate, or they don't know that they have this head injury because in the 90s, nobody knew about concussions at all.
Yeah. And now you can get in trouble for smoking weed. What if your knee hurts or
I'd be
something?
pissed.
If you have a medical reason, I think what they want is a note. But now, the way it was changing, I'm talking like you would get fined in 2006 if you were caught with weed. So maybe now, as more states are opening up with the, oh, it's legal, maybe now that they'll be a little bit more lenient. But I think they're more like, okay, as long as it's not in your urine test, because they do drug tests every so often, or you can do they'll do random drug tests on certain guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like the Olympic tests where they go in a cup.
Okay.
That's how it kind of works. So it depends. Like there's certain things also, like in boxing, there's a natural chemical that you have in your body called androlone. And if you have too much of that, you could get barred in the Olympics because they still consider it a drug, but it's a natural drug.
Mm-hmm.
So there's confusion in that department.
That's pretty crazy.
How would these guys do against real wrestlers, like Olympic wrestlers?
Well, I would think that it depends on the rules, because in Olympic rules, it's very different from pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
When you get in an Olympic wrestler, the object is to get points by takedowns and pinfalls. Whereas in pro wrestling, it's, okay, I just want to hold you down for 3 seconds and then I win the whole thing. I'm not trying to get points. It's just one.
Right.
And it would depend also on the kind of person that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a seasoned amateur and then you go up against a giant, it's likely that he might tie you up with your legs. Or if you go against a seasoned wrestler against a rookie at a high school in the amateur, you're going to have to ask him to lighten up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems that these wrestlers that you're talking about are much bigger guys than the ones that are in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
They're much beefier.
Yeah, because of the different objective that you have in Olympic rules. With the Olympics, it's you have to be in the ring all the time, and you have to get points by takedowns, by pinfalls, or by just making sure that you lock him up pretty good. Whereas wrestlers, because it's planned, they get, when you get to the building and you know that you're wrestling tonight, you're told this is how long you're going to go, this is who we want to win, and then you figure out the rest from there.
Yeah, they're really good improvers. They're improvisers.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Because sometimes...
They should be on, what's the improvised show?
Whose
That
line
Wayne
is it
Brady's
anyway?
on?
Love that
Yeah, I
show,
wonder how well they'll do.
Whose line is it
Love
anyway?
They should do a crossover. They should just
they've had
have Wayne Brady going to the ring.
They've had
and then have
wrestlers on there
CP Punk.
before.
Really?
Yeah, they had Chris...
You're joking? Are you serious?
No,
They've been
I'm
on. They've been on
serious.
there.
They've had Chris Jericho on there, who's a wrestler and a leader of a rock band.
Wow. Was he any good? Was he any good?
He's still going now at age 50, so...
Not a wrestling, improv.
Oh, he's decent at improv. I mean, he isn't exactly making a living out of that, but I mean, you have to have some of those skills if you're going into wrestling, because one of the things that makes you a good wrestler is how you can talk.
That's true.
Because part of it is selling. Convince me why I want to see this. Convince me why I would part with my money to order your pay-per-view or buy your subscription service.
Very true.
They got the yes and training. I see. All right. Well, cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead to the second. Let's go to the second one. Why not?
Well, mine.
On your list.
The second one was living with cerebral palsy. That's what I have. That's why you can't see it when I'm in a wheelchair. I always have been, and I'm always going to be. Have any of you guys had like an encounter with someone in a wheelchair that you were like, you weren't like sure of yourself? Because I've met people that would ask me like, "Oh my goodness, like were you in an accident?" Or they get anxious when they see someone in a wheelchair because they don't know how to help you and they want to, or because they're scared of the idea of being in one.
I don't know. I get confident because I'm the tallest person at the moment.
I get that when I stand. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
No, I
right.
haven't had that.
I sometimes, I think I do get sometimes uncomfortable where, like, I try to be big on, like, letting people be, you know? Like, I don't want to add to the handicap by, like, you know, babying somebody or, like, trying to, you know, treat them other. So sometimes I'm like, should I be treating them like other, though? Am I being an asshole but not treating them like other? So that's sometimes my, like, wondering thing.
Right. It tends to be better, because every case is different. Like, there are as many different levels of cerebral palsy as there are levels of autism. So you never know what someone could wind up with. Like, my cerebral palsy is in my legs and my left arm. I can walk with a walker, but there are some people that are completely unable to talk, unable to see, unable to really move. So you never know what you're going to get, and you cannot guarantee anything when it comes to cerebral palsy. So if there's any parents that listen to this podcast that are having a child, don't freak out. There's no guarantee that you will wind up with cerebral palsy, but there's no guarantee that you won't either. Because it primarily happens to children with birth defects.
What is
You had
the
a question,
difference-
Finus?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Grandpa.
I was just going to.
I was just going to.
I'm very uneducated about the whole subject. What is the difference between cerebral palsy and what was I just thinking? Polio.
Polio is a disease that you can get at an older age as well as when you're young. Like, you can get, like, Roosevelt got it when he was 35 years old. And that is a virus, whereas cerebral palsy is a birth defect. Where I got it when I was born 10 weeks premature as a result of a lack of oxygen to the brain. And you can get that as well if you... It's primarily due to oxygen deprivation. Like if the baby has the umbilical cord stuck around its neck, or if for whatever reason the baby is born too early. Like, my lungs were not finished when I came out. Because... Not everyone is like this, but some parents are not able to carry their baby to a complete 9-month term. So that was our situation.
Okay.
And you don't know what the situation is until after the first few years of brain development. That's when you
Oh,
have
wow.
to take them in at the age of like 2 to get a more accurate diagnosis.
Wow.
Well,
I'm learning so much.
you mentioned that there's all degrees of polio or what is the difference physically?
Cerebral
What are
palsy,
the
Grandpa.
Well,
differences physically.
Well, it depends differently. Like, once again, I said, everyone is different. Like, mine affects my legs and my arms. Like, I can walk, but I require help because that's the part of the brain that received the damage. Some people receive damage to a different part of their brain where maybe their spinal cord area was damaged, so the messages are not sent properly to the brain to say, okay, walk straight or stand up. Or maybe there is a level to where there are people that I worked with that went into a room that's what they call the snoozlin room for people who were developmentally delayed in the brain, which meant that they might have the mind of a younger person in their body. So they might stay in high school until they're about 21 years of age. I wouldn't exactly know what to call the different... Like, there are different names, I just can't think of them offhand at the moment, but mine is more physical than mental.
Okay.
Wow. So tell me if this question is offensive or not, or bad. Like, how do you feel about having cerebral palsy? Is it like I guess trying to get to brass tacks, do you... I'm trying to put this in good word. I'm trying to put this in the words myself. Do you ever feel like you're happy that you're, like that you have it, or do you regret it, or like how do you feel about it, about having cerebral palsy?
Okay, first of all, I have to say that that's an okay question because you know me. If you did not know me, someone might take offense to that.
Yes.
So, because you know me, and I will answer that. If I wasn't born the way I am, I wouldn't have the perspective I have now. So in that sense, I don't regret it. Because if I was born, not to be offensive to anyone else, but normal, I wouldn't have the same level of respect for those who are older than me that have lived their entire life with the condition, or those that are younger and they're still trying to learn. Besides, I think the only thing that nowadays that ever gets me upset about having cerebral palsy is like when everyone in my school turned 16 and they were getting their driver's license and they were all bragging about it because I can't physically drive, or when school dances come by because I can't stand straight enough to dance with a person. And I watched all the Disney princess movies when I was little as a kid, so I kind of dreamed of doing the waltz with a girlfriend. But other than that, I'm happy that it's made me who I am.
Yeah.
Do you partake in like physical activities like swimming or?
I did as a mandatory when I was younger. I went to a physiotherapy facility where they would exercise you for a few hours and they would try to educate you on, okay, this is why you're doing this. This is what it's supposed to help strengthen, like your quads, your feet, to help you walk straight. I don't do it so much now. I should be exercising, but with COVID, it's harder to access a gym up here where I live. But I hated the way they did it, because when you start out young as a cerebral palsy person, different parts of your body are more sensitive than others. So with me, my cerebral palsy causes my muscles in my legs and my arm to be tighter than an average one. So if you were to make me work out, and I was to stand up for X amount of minutes, I get cramps in my muscles. So I have to sit down quicker, or if you work out, if you squeeze my muscles to try to get rid of scar tissue on my body, it feels like you're poking me with hot poker. So you have to take time with those kinds of things, and you have to know your own threshold.
Wow.
And you'd say that they weren't taking the time.
Well, I didn't
when
know
you were
any
going
better
through
at that
physical
time, because I
therapy?
went from the age of 2 till about 13. Knowing what I know now, I'm thinking, okay, the way that they did things, because I think every facility is different, or they have a curriculum. I'm not sure. I only went to the one. But what they would do with me often is stick me in braces to have my legs stretched straight out, and they would say, okay, we want you to wear these all night long and then go to school in the morning. So that was not very comfortable. So we said, unless my wheelchair needs repairs, I'm not seeing those people again because I didn't like the way they did things. I once had to get a Botox injection to help with my muscles at the age of 4, and that hurt like nobody's business, and the doctor told me to walk it off.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy needed his license revoked.
Jesus. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I have
Grandpa.
a question. As far as cardiovascular, to keep your functioning, your bloodstream and everything, do you do any type of cardiovascular exercise or whatever?
Not at this point in time, I do not.
And also, another question I have is, have they made advancements in, I guess, mechanical equipment or whatever that makes life easier for you?
Well, I have several wheelchairs in my house at the moment. The one I'm sitting in now, I use manually, but there's one I have with what I would consider it close to like a Professor Xavier wheelchair, where you press the button and it's electronic battery powered. And what happens is in Canada, they have the rule that our government will cover the costs of every wheelchair equipment that I need until I reach 65, and then I'm on my own. So that's why it's important to save your money and make good investments while you're young, because they're only going to...
So Dogecoin?
Pardon?
Did you invest in Bitcoin and Dogecoin? Cryptocurrency?
He
Bitcoin?
hired someone to make
finance.
investments for me. I do not know what the investments are in.
Oh, cool.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
Well, it certainly hasn't affected
Don't
your-
ever apologize. I'm an open book with all this.
It certainly hasn't affected you mentally. You're very sharp. You have a very sharp mind.
Thank
I
you.
have a daughter who was born premature. She weighed 3 pounds 13 ounces, but
Oh, I weighed the same, but 9 ounces.
okay, yeah.
My mother scrapbooked everything, so we have it written down.
You want to move on to the next subject?
Okay, let me just check and see what it is.
Sierra, did you have any opinions of cerebral palsy?
Pardon?
I was just giving Sierra a chance while we were just...
It's super interesting.
Okay, number 3, travel adventures.
Yeah, where have you been?
Okay, so the first trip I mentioned earlier was to Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the arena, but we stayed there a whole week. We went to the wrestling event on a Tuesday. We went to Alligator Alley one time in Florida, which is like going in a motorboat through a swamp and checking out all the alligators that are there.
Oh, no.
Which, I don't know why, but I wasn't scared at all at age 10 of alligators. I even held a baby that was taped up. Went to the Miami Seaquarium, which is where you get to swim with a dolphin. And I cried for a good 15 minutes while I was in that pool because I was terrified of the dolphin.
The dolphin,
well,
but
there's
not the
well, they-
alligator.
There's a song lyric by the Hootie and the Blowfish that someone also cried about dolphins. Was it Hootie? In that song, I never only want to be with you. There's a. I'm so sorry. I'm digressing.
It's okay.
All right.
But I was afraid of the dolphins because they have teeth that look like zippers, or they close as quick as a zipper. So then you throw the fish in there, and if you stick your hand in there, you're not getting it back. Also, you're not supposed to wear jewelry if you're in the pool because for some reason they're attracted to shiny objects like birds.
Klepto dolphins.
So if you go, yeah. So that was most of what I had, we stayed at a very nice Marriott, and that was the first time where it was like my first time in a hotel, so that was a little very exciting because, you know, the kind of services that good hotels can provide. So I had, for most of the week for breakfast, chocolate milk and chocolate chip pancakes, because Mom never made it at home. And then that was the first time I ever went to Florida. Then the second time I went to Disney's Magic Kingdom in Orlando. But that wasn't as good of a trip, because it was brought to me by the Sunshine Foundation, but it was there and back in the same day. So we had to get to an airport in Toronto at 3 in the morning because they were doing interviews with all the Sunshine Foundation kids about the experience, what they were excited about, all those things. So it's a 3-hour. They're like
What are
Make-A-Wish
Sunshine Foundation
in Canada.
kids?
So what happens is I already have my wish to go to the wrestling event with them, but if you've worked with them before and you were in the area, there was a chance that you could be chosen to join them on this trip. So it was a trip to Disney's Magic Kingdom in Orlando with no parents, just adult supervised staff. And then we land there, and to get me off the airplane, because I can't walk with you, I have to hold a walker in order to walk. So they got 3 very large gentlemen staff, and one hold me by the arms, one hold me by the legs. And it was almost like they're carrying me off the plane. I wanted to sing that song, sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. Yeah, and then I really try going on roller coasters, but I have a lifelong phobia of roller coasters. Just because I feel like you can't really catch your breath when the things... Yeah, you feel like you can't catch your breath when you're sitting on those things. Went to a Monster Inc. comedy show that was there. Definitely got some good ice cream. I got myself my own version of a Captain Jack Sparrow hat to wear with all the hair pieces and all the jewelry that he has in the hat.
Cute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually remember much of the day because it was a hot April day in Florida, which is like a summer in Canada.
Yeah.
So it was very hot and sweaty. And then I wind up getting... The thing that ticked me off the most is, you know, that fireworks that they have in all the Disney movies at the beginning from the castle. We left just as they were about to light it. We had to go.
Damn.
Magic Kingdom.
So then we get on the plane, and it's
It looks
another
better in
3
the
hour.
movies. You didn't miss anything.
It's another 3-hour flight back, and then it's a drive from the airport back to my house. It's 1 a.m. the next day. So I don't know
That's
why.
23 hours.
Yeah, we couldn't. I don't know why we couldn't stay the night. It was ridiculous. And then I wound up giving away my hat to a little boy my family knows who's a little bit of a shy kid. So I didn't want it sitting in my closet and wasting away. So gave it away to a little boy. Besides, I have all of the movies on DVD.
Hey, Benen, have you traveled since the pandemic, or this is all?
No, my last travel was in 2015. And that'll be my last adventure for that topic, but it was Dublin, Ireland.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
So that came about because our high school would offer March break trips to different places. Like they were offering to take students to Greece. And I wanted to go there because I'm a big fan of Greek mythology and their, I don't know what they call it, but all the gods they believe in. I thought it was fascinating. But they could not guarantee wheelchair accessibility, which to me, whenever someone says that is a cop-out, meaning we don't want to spend the money because it costs extra. So Mom says, go pick a place, and I will take you there for a week for the March break. So we wound up going in July of 2015 to Dublin, Ireland with my mom and my aunt, which I thought was an awesome trip, but it was nerve-wracking at the same time because they would have to lift me to get me into places, and my aunt hurt her tailbone recently prior to the trip, so I was nervous. And then it's a 7-hour nonstop flight. So for a guy that's 6 feet tall, that's not a comfortable flight. But we get there, and day one, we're supposed to go outside to a river called the River Liffey, if you want to look that up. And we were supposed to go to a boat ride around Dublin. and it's getting cloudy and foggy, as it often is in the Britain side of the world. We get out there immediately, we are crapped on by seagulls. And according to them, it's good luck up there if you get crapped on by birds when you show up. So then we had a very extensive Irish tour of the city with a very nice tour guide. And apparently, if you are legitimately Irish, no matter what color hair you have, whether you're a brown or you're a blonde, there will be bits of red in your hair to know that you are legitimately Irish. And so,
Wow.
Yeah, and I gorged myself on food when I was down there because it was like, what's Irish cuisine like?
What is it like?
A lot of lamb
Okay.
chops, fish and chips, seafood chowder. The River Liffey is gorgeous when you look at it. They had a statue of one of the founding fathers of Irish independence. I believe his name was Daniel O'Connell. And it was kind of funny because it always seemed like a party atmosphere, but the guys in our hotel, they said, don't come out at night, don't leave the hotel, there's unsavory folk out there. Because where we lived was primarily in the tourist area, so there was also a lot of homeless guys out there. So then my aunt, she's trying to mess with me, she says, don't shake hands of any of those guys, don't touch them, you'll get sick. And she's messing with me. We went to a leprechaun museum, which was basically kind of like somebody's house, but only if it was meant for, like, it was basically if you shrunk to the size of a leprechaun, this is what it would look like. We went to see a music group called the Merry Plowboys, where they would present you with live Irish folk music and a good dinner. I couldn't eat the dinner, unfortunately, because there's a lot of hills and mountains in Ireland on the road, so kind of twists your stomach a little bit, makes you a little nauseous. But the Irish folk music was awesome. They are very proud of the song Danny Boy. Danny Boy, the pipes are calling. Yeah. And we went to a whiskey factory, Jameson Whiskey, and we went to a Jameson Guinness, we went to a Guinness factory.
Do they originate from Ireland?
Guinness,
They must have. I must be
Guinness
silly.
does. Jameson, I think.
Not Guinness, but not Jameson. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because they had like whole tutorials about how the family wound up with the brew and all that. Although the weird,
I guess Jameson is. Yeah, it sounds Irish.
yeah, but whenever I drink alcohol, I wind up doing automatic spit takes like on comedy, so I don't really bother with drinking.
Yeah.
Let me think. What else happened? Oh, we went to and we saw a lovely group of Irish clog dancers. All ladies. And I wound up hanging out with them for a good few minutes.
They have wooden shoes,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Actually, I get a wooden shoe out every Christmas because I'm Dutch. And that's part of a St. Nicholas tradition.
Oh, so it's not a
It's Irish
Wow.
and Dutch, but
River Liffey is 77 miles long. What is that? That's really long.
it's a river in Ireland.
That is long.
Well,
I
as
think
I
Ireland
said,
was
take
77 miles long to the age.
you can take boat tours. Trust me, Ireland is far more than 77 miles. Oh,
I don't
and
even know what that is, I'm going to be honest.
The best part was we went on a bus trip around, I believe it was called Court, which was past Dublin and through the town of Whitlow. They would show you where they shot scenes in the movie Braveheart, some scenes from Vikings, because they would do episodes of that in Northern Ireland. And there was a lot of thick foliage and a lot of heavy trees up there. So what happens is it's a big double-decker bus where you can climb up on the roof. And at one point we're driving, the bus gets caught on a tree, the top window breaks. And then while we're waiting for help, the guy just starts singing, "Alive for sweet Molly, alive, alive, oh," because he's trying to cover up, "Oh, I broke a window." So he says at the end of the tour, he's like, "Well, thank you very much for climbing on my bus. If you enjoyed the tour, great. If you didn't, keep your mouth shut about the window. I need the job." Yeah, so I would happily go back there. So that's the end for Ben's travel adventures. Let's
Anybody
see.
else? Big traveling?
Anyone else with a
Travel
wacky
places?
travel story?
I know Grandpa's got tons of them. He's probably traveled everywhere.
No, I mean, yeah, Grandpa called me today, and he was like, "By the way, I was an accountant at one point." I was like,
Well, I'm not.
I didn't
really an
fucking know you were
accountant. I had a
an
couple
accountant.
courses in accounting in college, and I took a job with a company that did very specialized accounting for service stations. I was only there about a year and a half. Benen, I'd like to ask you this. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's more of a sensitive issue, but do you have any kind of attachment or whatever? More so, if you're with someone with a similar type of situation as yourself, or just the same as with anyone else in society?
Well, believe it or not, for most of my life, because there are groups of students that can be put together and they would stay together permanently in the, okay, I'm going to have to stay until I'm 21 due to having a kind of developmental delay, or you would be put with other students. And I spent most of my life with other students, with regular ones. So usually I would be the only guy in a wheelchair in the classroom or in the building. So then when you introduce me to other people in a wheelchair, not that I'm uncomfortable, but it's harder for me to relate to you, say, mine's physical. If you have trouble speaking or if you have a high degree of autism, it will be hard for me to connect with you, not for lack of trying.
Right. So it's more about your thought process, verbal skills, that sort of thing, more so than the physical.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Like,
I'm
did I
saying
answer your question?
that your
or?
relationship with people is based upon your mental ability, not the physical thing. Not
Right.
as much
Yes,
as physical.
Yes, it's more of on can I emotionally relate to you,
Right.
versus anything else.
Did it ever prove challenging with other students, or was everybody in your school genuinely
Well, I believe
nice about the whole thing?
they all had good intentions, but they might have been accidentally mean. Like, for instance, if they were playing a game of soccer, I wanted to be involved with other kids. I wanted to play with them. But they would say, we want you to be a part of it, but we don't want you to get hurt as well. So then I would go find something else to do. But at the same time, you'd still feel a bit dejected. So it would be, try to balance that out. They don't mean to, but they're not trying to exclusively kick you out. But they, at the same time, have good intentions towards you. Like, one time there was a kid, I was driving around on an electric scooter to get my recess activity, and there was a guy who was in the same class. He wanted to have some fun. He thought it would be fun to jump on my scooter on the back while I'm driving it for a joyride. Scared the shit out of me because I didn't see it coming. So I was mad at him for a good while, but I understand that he didn't mean to do that on purpose. He was just trying to find his own way to be involved. So it all depends on, talk to me first so I understand the situation. Don't just come right at me.
Yeah. What perspective to be able to look at other people is at least to be forgiving, at least to other people, about their shortcomings.
Anyone else have any questions, or do we want to move on?
Let's move on.
I got a.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. This is one thing. No. This is silly. This is just about. I was going down a rabbit hole of rivers. That river is not long. There's way longer rivers than that. Like the Nile River is like 4,000
River Liffey,
miles
okay.
long.
Oh,
Yeah, that was just.
Don't river shame finance.
That's like
don't do that.
Yeah,
That's the
Don't be
longest
the
the
one,
top
though,
10.
right?
The Amazon is like 3,900. The
Don't-
Mississippi is like 3,700.
Don't river shame.
The
Finest?
Not necessary.
I thought it was a big river at first. It's 77 miles. Now I'm like, oh,
I've never-
77 miles.
I'm not traveling to the Amazon.
Benen, Phines turned your.
Oh, you
Dublin vacation
you didn't do
into
anything
a
but go around in a
big
little
house.
circle. Just-
How dare you?
At least I went straight.
No, I'm just kidding. I just didn't know. You're right. I've never been on a river. I don't think I've been on a canoe, but I've never been on a boat. I've never been on a
my dad fishes, so I've been on a boat
boat.
once or twice.
Being surrounded by water is the equivalent of being surrounded by like a desert to me. It makes me feel some type of way. I think I'm a little afraid of
Hate
it.
it.
Where I'm thinking like, just to think that there's nothing else like out here, it makes me kind of sketched out.
No problem. I can't. I don't like the idea. I used to swim when I was a kid, but as I grew older, I was like, no, unless I'm in the shower, I'm a landlubber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in LA very recently, and I'd never experienced tides like that before. Like you would only be a little tiny bit out and be like, oh, that's not that bad, and then it smacks you, and you can't get back. And
you want to watch Dangerous
liked
Waves?
about it, I
Watch
don't-
Deadliest Catch on Discovery. That's dangerous.
Yeah, there was one point where I swam so far out where I was like, as I was trying to get back, I didn't know if I could. Like, it was so difficult, and I don't know, something about it was really like peaceful.
You're just out there in the
Which
water,
is
like, okay,
Maybe weird to say,
this is
but
how I'll die. All right,
tranquility,
all right, I dig
yeah.
it. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, just like you sort of forget all of
Problems.
your
And you just
stupid,
focus on this primary worry, which
day-to-day
is, am I
worries
gonna
when
drown
you're swimming
in this water?
for your life. Yes.
Yeah.
Am I gonna live? Yeah. I feel the same about longboarding. It's like this state of flow
I
where
haven't
it's like,
been
Not
to the beach in
ever.
at
You
least
know.
a decade.
yeah,
Mostly because
you
the
go down a
wheelchair
hill.
gets stuck in the sand.
No.
Well, I'm okay with it.
Oh,
I
man,
prefer
that must suck.
to be indoors where it's like I can control the temperature. I'm not going to have to worry about a seagull crapping on me.
Do you get like accessories for the wheelchair? Like,
Sure.
are there like
Lots of
snow
sequel crap.
tires or something?
Not
Sort of.
necessarily. Like winter is basically a don't come out of the house period for me.
No.
Because it's like a lot of times where I can go, the sidewalks are not. It should be illegal for someone to not clean their sidewalks.
Right.
Like it should be an obligation for the neighbors to clear sidewalks, so people who can't go on the road can get around. Like in college, I almost had an accident getting through to a Starbucks because there was some ice, and thank God a construction guy was walking by and he was like, "Can you give me a hand so I don't slip into the highway?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so winter is basically don't come out, and then summer is basically come out when anyone can drive you. Because I cannot drive myself, and there is no transport where I live, like there's no buses where I live. So if I was to take a bus over from the next town, I'd have to pay double just to get back.
Damn.
Do you like your hometown, or do you think
It
you'll
has
ever
its
move
moments,
away?
like I think every town does. I do wish it was a bit more full of people my own age, so to speak. Because a lot of people might be closer to the age of
Yeah.
retirement that are up here.
Right.
And there's not as much
Yeah.
things to do for me up here. So if we do move away, I'm hoping that it's city-like, but not as overwhelming as, say, Toronto. I think I would,
So
and
you
I
wouldn't
would.
like New York.
I'd like the opportunities of getting jobs and meeting people from different parts of the world. Like, if I was to go on a date with a chick who lived in New York but was partially from Puerto Rico, I'd have a good time.
Yeah, that's I
Like,
guess.
I think it took me till I was 8 years old to meet my first
yeah.
person of color. Just because we lived in, like, a small farming
Dang, are there none of them up there?
Pardon? Pardon?
No, I guess yeah. No, I was just saying, are there no color people up there where y'all at?
You gotta drive, like, half an hour, maybe an hour.
Damn.
To where? A color factory?
No.
I'm sorry.
Right to Crayola. Johnson & Johnson, a family company. We got everywhere. It was actually at one of my first physiotherapy camps where I met my first African American individual.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, like, when's the first time I met someone in a wheelchair? I'm trying to think. Was I 8?
I was going to say, if it's me, I'd be surprised.
Now, I worked in a hospital for like 8 years, and there was people there, but I feel like I met someone before then. What was the first time I met someone in a wheelchair? I feel like I have someone in my family in a wheelchair. They're probably really upset right now.
You gotta end somewhere. It's like,
when you worry about that, just think of how many people are getting educated about this on the podcast.
There we go.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
think about all the people.
If you haven't seen anybody of the people listening, if you haven't met anybody that's colored, go meet them. If you haven't met anybody in a wheelchair, go meet them.
And just ask them before you make assumptions.
Don't jump on the back of their ride.
And don't tell them that you're the first person. Don't tell them you're the first person in a wheelchair or the first person of color that they met. Just.
I don't know about the wheelchair thing, but if you're a person of color, don't touch their hair as well. They don't like that.
Just don't touch them at all. Don't touch them at all.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just give them a nice wave.
Don't compare their skin color to anything that you've already seen that's not them.
Just be like, wow,
I made that dumb mistake at age 8. It made my sister laugh like crazy. I won't share it because I don't want to offend anyone listening, but
it's okay. Well, I think I've said enough stuff myself, so it's okay.
The family, like, we would all live together at the facility where we would work out physiotherapy 5 days a week, and then the families would live together in different rooms, so we would meet up. And the child who I was with, he had it a little bit worse for wear than me, but at the end of it, we must have been friendly because he gave me one of his toy cars by the time we left for the September period. So, and I'm 8 years old there, so that was interesting. All right, so let's move on to the next subject matter. Alrighty, number 4, working in the industry of radio. So technically, you guys are already in it.
Yep. Benen.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I was super interested by number 5.
You want to skip ahead? Okay.
We're skipping radio? Are you kidding me?
We can jump around.
Well, we'll come back to it.
Are you in the industry, Sierra?
Read number 5, Brandon. Come on, then. No. If he wants to read it. No, have Brandon do it.
What is it?
I sent him the text message.
I'll read. I know it from memory. It's students today versus students
somewhere around that
grandpa's time.
Yeah, time period. Because I'm thinking, no, you didn't.
Did I fuck it up?
You didn't.
Benen?
You didn't. I'm just
I had
thinking.
one job.
Like, from the way I thought people were taught when I was in school, there needs to be some changes. So who knows how they were taught when he was in school? Because the way I see it, what they would do for a lot of students is, because when you have a disability, you have to wait a certain age to be able to properly diagnose what the issue is. But to a point, when you get to school, you have to conduct tests on the students there to see, okay, what level of, let's say, math or science is easier for him? What level what is the best way for him to remember things, to take notes? Is it by listening to things? Is it by seeing things? So they would do tests on you where it's like, okay, listen to this and then tell me what you remember about it. Or take a look at this visual and remember. So the thing I don't like about those kinds of tests is that they would do it kind of as you're in school, and that they would tell you that you need to have these tests done. To me, it made me feel like, oh my god, I must be stupid if you're going through this test. So it makes you feel a bit less than other students, or when you know that you need this aid. I've had educational assistants my whole life as note takers. So when you need those, and then you're going through tests, you kind of feel a bit less than the other students. So my proposal is that you wait, you get a diagnosis, and then temporarily homeschool the students until you figure out their maximum potential prior to introducing them to school children, so that they don't have those feelings of feeling less adequate than, say, the student on your left or your right, That way it's like, okay, now I feel like I can work with other students on an equal level because I can explain to them, this is what I need, this is how you can accommodate me in this group assignment, let's go do it.
So you're saying, like, figure all of that out before you put me into this new school environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
way
got you.
it feels less emotionally embarrassing at the same time.
I got you.
I think you'd make a great school teacher.
I have not the desire to go to teacher's college. Once I finished radio, I was like...
What'd you study?
I studied radio
What'd you study in
broadcasting
school,
and contemporary media, and I'm also going back to school. Although I'm taking it online remotely to get a certificate in social media. So that's basically like I could get put under contract to manage this organization's Twitter account or such and such.
Oh, cool.
Because I've mentioned to you guys my brand, Rolling Dragon Media. What I want it to be is a brand where I can sell my services as a voiceover artist or audiobook narrator, but I don't have the know-how to grow the brand, so I thought go back to school.
Very cool.
Wow, that is really cool.
It's hard growing brands, man, and I'm very very bad with social media, as some people know. But I find it interesting to do it full time, 9 to 5. That would be.
Yeah, remember
tricky.
that time that Phines just learned that we had a YouTube page?
Yes.
On the air. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You not remember that?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
We were recording an
forget that.
episode, and I had
No.
told you guys about how I found you. You first met me through backstage, and then I looked at you guys on the YouTube page, and I'm like, I gotta be on. And then Phines was like, wait a minute, we have a YouTube page?
We on YouTube?
Was that the first
I think-
week or the first couple
One
weeks
of
of
the
the
first
show?
times that you had me on.
That's really funny.
First time we had you on was in our
I know, that's
20th
why this is so
episode or
funny.
something like that.
Like 40 hours later. Oh my god, what?
Half a
Where?
year, dude.
What I want to say is that when you go look at YouTube and you see those views that we have, just know that nothing's skewed because I ain't never watched one of them. So that's good. That's good.
Those are
So, like,
legit
what-
numbers.
You don't like watching
The legit
yourself,
numbers.
do you?
Oh no.
He doesn't even listen
No,
to
no.
himself. If I find like a really funny clip of something or something stupid that we did, I'll like put it in a group chat and Finals will be like, you know, I'm really sorry that happened, or I'm happy for you.
don't know what-
I don't know because I didn't watch it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
The
most
the-
generic ass
thumbs up.
answers that have ever
Yeah,
been
yeah.
written.
So,
Yeah. Can you guys watch
I have
yourselves as
I
besides
do,
Finest?
like, kind of as a reflect back. Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, is what I said going to get out to the world? Did I say something that was over the line? Because of the way social,
Oh, man, yeah.
the way social media is now, anyone could say, "Oh my God, he said this harassment." Oh my God, he said this misconduct. It's just so easy
Yeah.
now.
Have you? So you've
A chunk
watched your
of them,
previous
yeah.
episodes, Benen?
I admit that I look terrible on screen because of the lighting.
Yeah, we've all
Yeah.
been there. Grandpa's been there.
He's growing his bird out of his beard.
That's
Rosie's
hilarious.
doing
Yeah.
a lot today. I'm gonna be honest. She's like, what's
So
the
it's
best
like she's
angle I
like-
can murk this man?
I don't
Live.
know.
Yeah, right. She's just thinking about it. Like,
We should-
where am I?
We should get her own like social media account. Follow Rosie the Bird on Twitter.
Honestly, should be some great.
See where
TikToks.
she lands on Grandpa this week.
But I mean, she came from the side. She came from the
Good.
back.
Does
now she's
anybody
up
need a
front.
bird?
How are you doing, Grandpa?
Does anybody want a bird?
See, you keep talking like that. That's why she all on your neck.
It's like Grandpa's
For him-
Trash
Sorry.
talking
catchphrase.
her right
Have
to her
dinner with
face.
us.
Yeah, really about to
Just
slide.
Oh.
a real chore taking care of them.
Grandpa, what do you think about watching yourself on the podcast?
While we're doing the podcast.
Have you seen yourself?
or- Well, I haven't played it back.
No, like playback, like published episode.
Well, you may have
Never.
done it,
I've
but
sent
I
them
don't
to
think
you.
I-
That's half the podcast,
for
y'all.
a few minutes.
You gotta Gotta add that to your extensive resume.
ridiculous.
that
I
you're
didn't
on
say
this
you didn't
show.
send it
Afraid
to me.
watch.
I said I ain't watching.
I agree.
Over the line. With that.
Grandpa, you do an excellent job on this show.
Extensive resume.
Without you, it wouldn't be the same show.
Well,
Wouldn't be a show, yeah.
I mean, it would be. It would be Brandon and Phines.
But what is that? Nothingness.
And
A comedy
Sierra
troupe
and
waiting to
Cesar.
fall over.
Just avoid.
Okay, all right. I'm okay with that. They call us a comedy troupe, Brandon. That's pretty nice.
All over.
Grandpa Bart is the egg. Grandpa
I
Bart
know.
is the eggs in this cake, man.
Well, you guys are being
without
What
it,
does
very
that
nice.
make? What does that
Quite
respectfully
frankly.
make you then?
She's the
She's the yolk.
wait.
I'm the
Producer.
bowl or the spoon or
Oh wow, the bowl and the spoon. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
all the utensils.
Brandon's the
You
shark.
could do the voice acting of a bowl, and a
I
spoon.
would, yeah.
Those
I
are
could.
inanimate objects.
Oh
But
yeah,
you need them.
That's
What are
the
you
best
gonna
type of
put? What are
voice.
you gonna? You can't make a cake without a bowl,
No, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
and you need the eggs.
Benin, when you say you do voiceover,
Trying to break Grandpa.
what type of product or what is the voiceover done for
Well-
primarily?
Okay, well, it depends on a lot of different things.
Blue
It
Chew.
depends on, because on the backstage site, only certain things are available, so you have to pick and choose. Like one I have not filled out for is to advertise for a window commercial. Then there's some where it's other people's podcasts. Sorry for you guys, but I will cheat on you with other podcasts. I've got one going on the 27th called The Tragedy Academy, which is one for performers and actors to try to, in a judgment-free zone, get themselves known. So that's another one. For voiceover, you can do the end.
Judgment-free zone. That sounds not
Get
fun at all.
themselves known.
I'm trying to get exposure so people pay
You're in
me,
the-
dude. You can do,
I guess.
you can do voiceover for a cartoon, which is one thing I've always dreamed about, being a character in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, which we'll talk about later.
Oh yeah, we have to talk
have
about
to
that
talk
because
about
I'm a
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pokemon fan. I don't know if you can
Get
see my
out of here!
Pokemon
This is
poster up
Yu-Gi-Oh
there.
Town.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah, I went to Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments like when I was a small
Do you
child.
play the,
and
okay,
last
now
year,
we're already on the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Do you play the Duel Links online? Do you play that at all?
Yes. It's
Let's play. Hey,
basically
Duel
a
Links, what's
phone
that?
app where you can play as a character and duel with their decks.
So, Grandpa
Yeah.
Bart, what we're talking about right now is a Japanese children's trading card game.
Okay.
children.
It's brought great fame and fandom across the world, and several anime series that have progressively gotten more diabolical in nature.
Oh, I
The
see.
last
So
20
basically, when you're saying voiceover, you're the original voice of you're basically the original voice.
I'm the voice. You'd be the
Well, it
voice of the
sounds silly
characters in the
because
show.
I should know what you're talking about with voiceover. Brandon, I'm
Don't-
glad I.
No, first of all,
He's old.
First of all, Brandon,
He's so
be nice
old.
to your grandfather. You only have so many. And Grandpa, you not knowing things is part of the entertainment of the show.
I got 3.
Well, I basically know what voiceover is, but I guess some of it may be like after, maybe I'm wrong about this, but where the voice is already on let's say a film or whatever, and then they want to redo that.
No, I believe
No?
that is
Okay.
that is dubbing. And what
Right.
that is like if you were to watch a Jackie Chan movie where he was in China and everyone spoke Chinese, you'd hire an actor to dub over so that people in America could understand what the heck they're saying. Voiceover is, I would be the original voice of the characters in the show.
Yeah, I'm glad you explained that to me because I had it confused with dubbing. Correct.
Yeah, so what
I'm learning
believe-
something every day. Yeah.
Well, the day you stop learning is the day they put you in the ground.
Right. So
Yeah. Benen and Sierra are both pro
I'm-
voiceover artists. You got any tips for
Ladies
for
first.
people listening?
All right. Always try to warm up. Like whatever your warm up works for you. Like I could never
What's your warm up?
I could never
Sorry.
get the hang of like the scales and everything. Like I don't know why it always just like I just don't like it. So I'll just like sing or rap and like do that.
I do
like
that
I'll sing.
too.
Yeah, like I sing a couple different songs to like, get the different tones and everything. But I also rap too to like get my diction going and everything. Like get my mouth ready to like, just start saying stuff. So hopefully I don't stutter too much. De-stress, like try to be like as chill as you can before you start, because the more, even if you're ready like physically, like if your brain is like stressed or something, I feel like that makes me want to stutter and everything.
Yeah, that's a weird thing where it's like when you relax in acting too, for like on camera or whatever, like you're like when you release muscle tension,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
crazy that it like lowers your voice and like drops you
I think
into
you're
your
not supposed
body.
to be
It's
cold either. I think
weird.
being cold can like tighten up your vocal cords and stuff too. So like it's better to be warm or hot even than cold.
Never heard that.
Wow.
What else? Don't give up. Don't give up. That's a big one. Just because you don't get jobs or you don't get opportunities like in the moment or at this time doesn't mean,
Right.
even if it's something you're really excited for, it just may mean you're not what they're looking for at the moment. Or it could even mean like if you don't get a role, it could mean like you could be really great for the cast or the role, but they already have someone else with like a similar voice type that they know for like 1,000% certainty they want that person for that part, but they can't have like two very similar voice types. Just
Yeah.
keep networking, good vibes, stay positive. Don't do it to get rich, do it because you enjoy it or you want to improve on a skill set, because
Right.
it's difficult.
If like most of what you're saying is spot on, and I've been trying for the last 2 years now since college finished, so I haven't had many gigs. But what I always do is, when I get a gig, always show your gratitude when you apply for a gig, as well as if you get a gig, because it could be the one gig you get for a while. And then if you don't get a gig, what I always say is thank you for taking the time to look, and then please keep me in mind for future work if you liked it but you're not able to use it. It's the same thing with applying for an audiobook.
Right.
But what I would consider a win is if you receive like a thank you from them, or if you receive like a notice that there will be more projects down the line, because to me that means you weren't picked, but you came pretty close.
Right.
And then I would also say
noticed-
breath management. I would say one of the more important tricks is breath management. When you are about to press the button to start recording, take a big full breath of air and then press the button, start talking. Don't let it out, otherwise your back is going to arch when you're in the middle of it, and you're going to sound like basically a cranky old man who's looking for breath. Grandpa, you had a question?
Really? Good to know.
Well, I noticed that I've seen some cartoons where they're using fairly well-known actors to do the voiceovers.
That's like a big deal, kind of like in the voice acting community, is that, there's a whole host of incredibly talented like voice acting veterans or even like newer voice actors that, are great with their craft and just really talented people. But a lot of times different studios or networks will choose just a celebrity that doesn't really have any voice acting experience just to have, that name on the poster. Like,
Or the good or they have a good
LeBron
voice,
James.
but they're
Yeah,
not
like
in
Space
the
Jam.
field of voice acting.
That was terrible.
Well, no, you can have a great voice, like, and that's true. Yeah, you can have a great voice, but having a great voice doesn't necessarily make you a great voice actor. Like, there's a lot, there's more that goes into it than just having a good voice. It's knowing how to use it and how to like really put your emotions into what you're saying and the way that you say it. Like, for example, like people are talking about Zendaya being in Space Jam, and they're like, is Zendaya a voice actor? We don't really know, but here she goes being like this iconic character in Space Jam, and it happens all the time, especially in children. She was Lola Bunny.
Who'd
Lola
she
Bunny.
play?
She didn't do so bad.
No, she didn't.
I mean,
I was thinking more along the lines of like Patrick Stewart or Benedict Cumberbatch, because he did a lot of Benedict Cumberbatch did the voice of Smaug in the Hobbit movies, and then Patrick Stewart, just in general, if you listen to him talk, it makes everything sound special, if you know what I mean. Like, if you listen to his voice if you watch the X-Men movies and he narrates at the beginning, you could use him for audiobooks, no problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
I think
talented.
my mind was blown when I found out my favorite shows, animated Batman the animated series, the Joker was Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Luke Skywalker. But he's an exception. They didn't get him because he was famous. He like had to wait until he was not famous.
Just on
and then
different levels.
He's like an amazing voice actor.
Didn't he? Isn't the story like he got into a car accident and he like didn't think he was going to be able to like act again, and that's why he got into voice acting?
No.
Wait, really? I didn't know he got into a car
Google.
accident. Oh shit!
Well, the ones that I've seen.
What the hell?
Right now with the.
What the
transmission,
hell?
but the ones I've seen are like.
Oh, did
Disney,
my internet go out? Is it
cartoon.
me that's freezing?
Okay,
Maybe I
I'm
shouldn't
back
have
on.
Googled
I guess
Mark-
I just cut out.
What the
Campbell.
hell, man?
Uh-oh.
Looks
I
like
don't know.
something happened.
We were talking about...
All right. You know what? I can't even be mad. I can't even be as mad as I usually am because the Senate just passed the damn infrastructure bill.
Sierra, you seem very upbeat tonight, and so does Phines.
I'm trying my best.
Both of you guys are very upbeat.
I'm trying my
which
best,
is
Grandpa
nice.
Bart.
Feeling good. Feeling good today.
Yeah, this is the highlight of my
Benen
day, so...
has us, enjoying this
Brennan
program.
brought all the positivity today.
I'm
He got
glad
a good
that,
list. He had a list
Right,
of topics
yeah.
that we can talk about.
I'm really
It's great.
glad that this is the highlight of your day, Benen. That's very nice.
Well, I mean, so far I feel like you guys are the only thing I've applied for on Backstage that is like, it's been consistent. Whereas,
All right, we don't need your backhanded compliment.
No. No, but it's like the rest I'm still waiting nervously for, like, did I get picked? Did I not? I know that when I want to have some fun, I can get the guys on Grandpa and Chill to invite me on.
Can we talk about Backstage though? Because it's like good and not good for voice work.
Yeah.
Well, I heard there's pay-to-play voiceover places where like you go. Shit.
Where are
You
you
go to a
applying
place
for?
and you like pay a subscription and you can like submit just for voiceover jobs, right?
Yeah, but you have to pay X amount on Backstage too, which is kind of stupid. It's like, here, take my money so I can go look for ways to make money.
About it, well, if you get
And
one
yet I
good
can't
job,
get in
it pays for itself.
Yeah, I'm just saying that hasn't happened at the moment.
They gave me a discount for the first year. Like it was like half off for the first year, and so I did that. And then this year they were like, "Hey, girl, ready for that full price?" And I was like, "I'm not." So I haven't been back on. It's like so expensive.
Did you find us? I'm talking to Sierra. Sorry.
Yeah.
Through Backstage, Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm the only
So
person
it
that's
was
not on
all
Backstage.
chance, especially since I'm not going back there.
Well, I think I will go back, even though it is a pain in the neck, because so far it's the cheapest site I could find. Where, like, with me,
Actors
it was,
Access,
like,
no?
maybe I can't remember the full price because I paid for like the year, but I think maybe a month it was $80 something. Whereas there was a site I looked for where it was $400 a month.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, the cheap part of my brain is activating.
You might as well just get an agent at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want an agent because if you succeed with an agent, you
It
have
still
to give
might
a
be
percentage.
cheaper than
If I-
$400 a month.
No, I know, but I'm saying that if I make any money, I want to keep all of it. Like the window commercial, I haven't auditioned for yet, but I'm going to. It would pay $400.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you
And
guys
I
have to
just
be
find
like in
that
the
it's a-
actors union or anything of that nature?
No.
No.
I think they get a cut too if you're in the union. Now, mind you, I'd love to be a part of SAG because you can get X amount from a movie like $20 years down the road, even if it was a crappy
Wow.
movie.
Yeah, that would be nice. How do you get your SAG card? How do you get your SAG card as a voice actor? Is that even a thing? Can you do that?
No, but you can build a reputation, I think, on an IMDb account.
I think it's the same. I think it's the same or similar
I'm
for
not
like
really
physical
aware of
or
it.
live action actors, where you gotta just like kind of build up your
Book a job.
credits or
Yeah.
your not your resume, but your like
Wow.
your works. You know, your list of union jobs.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, after talking to you and Ben and Sierra, right after I get off of here, I'm gonna hit the pen and paper because I'm like, man, I want to work with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great to work with you guys. I know nothing about animation though,
Yeah.
but I can learn. Why not? Yeah, just a lot of stuff has been going on in my life, so I gotta be like, let me get my shit together, and then I'll start sketching stuff up. But I read the script and I was like, I think I can try to sketch something up, but it shows you how little experience I have in animation. Because I don't really even know. In comic, just even screen, like even writing up a script of something you wrote, I wouldn't even know what to. I'm still like, I had no idea what I was doing.
Sure. Yeah.
I
I'm
had
sure
tried
that'd be
writing a
super
script once.
It's hard.
I've wanted to do stuff like the writing for shows, but I've never been able to understand, like, okay, what format would they look for? Because there was one time I wanted to make a movie based on a novel, but then I look online as I'm 36 pages in, and then, somebody already did it in the UK. And then it's like, okay, I thought about making either a TV show or a movie based on a video game I play. But it's like, then I don't know how to get through those channels. Because you need permission from the companies and all that. And it's like, we could easily sue you if you even try.
Yeah. Speaking of like the Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Sierra. Go ahead.
No,
please.
I would just say start or like just do it anyway, kind of. Like you don't you kind of get like people kind of get like worried or scared when it's like when you want to like do a reboot or a continuation of something that already exists, but a lot of times like studios or like writers' rooms are looking for people who are able to like replicate like the themes or the style of a show. Like I remember I was like, when I was in high school, like all my friends were like big into like fan fiction and stuff. And I was like, I couldn't really get into it because in my head, I'm like, oh, this is cute. This is fun. But, I'm never going to be able to do anything with this because like you're saying, it already exists or someone's already doing that. But then, I get older and now I'm here and everybody wants, spec scripts or like, which is essentially just a fan fiction. It's you writing a story. It's you writing an episode of a story that already exists, but it's your take on it. It's something new that you've written, but like the same character, scenery, everything like that. So it's like, okay, well, now I could have been writing fan fiction all this time and I would have been way more prepared than I am now. So, it's like, just do it and, see where it goes, see where it takes you. Like, just keep reading scripts and figuring out the rhythm of it.
Good advice. Good advice.
Then I would encourage you, so you guys get an idea of what I'm talking about with like my idea.
Yeah.
Check out the 2009 Xbox 360 video game Dragon Age Origins.
Dragon Age. I think
It
I've heard
does sound. Grandpa, you know it?
Absolutely not.
Probably not.
Absolutely not. It sounds like something that you would get into.
Oh my goodness!
It does. I feel like I've heard of it before. You play video games, right, Benen?
It was. Heck yeah! Although, unfortunately, I'm one of those people that will get a new game as soon as I'll be the guy that gets the Xbox 360 just as Xbox One's coming out, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So then I'll be accidentally stuck with the games where where it's like, oh, they're not making new ones anymore, so you got to buy all the old ones or sell it for very cheap at yard sales.
Yeah,
I like the artwork.
I still play Skyrim, and that game is old as all get out.
I love Skyrim so much.
I think I have Xbox One version of Skyrim, but it's like, to me, if a game is a certain format, then I will just find it too annoying. Like with me, if I'm playing a battle game, I want to see the characters full body and all the moves. I don't want to see one sword
First
and
person.
then just bright. Yeah, I like first person roleplay.
Well, you can switch out to third person on Skyrim, but even all this fan fiction stuff and talking about going to Yu-Gi-Oh! I've always wanted to do a fan fiction of Pokemon, make it more adult, because it is. I told you it's just dog fighting.
Well, no. Before everyone goes nuts, I like the idea because in my mind, the thing that pisses me off about Pokemon, and I hope they don't come after me for saying this, is it's the same ending.
They're listening.
It's the same ending every time. It's like, okay, the characters have not aged since '95, which is stupid, even though it's a cartoon. And they never really win the top contest or the top league. He tends to always lose when he gets close to the final.
He shouldn't win, though.
Well, that was a waste of time.
He won. Yeah. He won his first one, a little bit ago.
He won he did.
It was on the news.
You're right. Okay. It was. They did.
I haven't kept up with the more recent versions.
I don't watch the TV. I don't watch the TV show, but I read the manga and.
Oh, I've never read manga.
None. None. You haven't read any at all?
No, but I've watched the shows.
Oh no! I'm have you read any mangas in general? Period. Have you read any?
No, I've never. If you mean comic books, then yes, I have read comic books.
But not manga.
Nah, mangas are different.
No, I've never read a manga, but if I could, I'd love to read the Beyblade mangas.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'll put you on. There's so much good stuff out there.
Maybe
about Beyblades.
We were talking about it on the show.
Were we talking about Beyblade?
They're awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have a weird obsession with any character that wields dragons.
Let's update Grandpa with Beyblades. Beyblades is like spinning tops. But hey, you know how back in the day,
dreidels,
it's not dreidels. Oh yeah, it is like dreidels. Oh my god!
Now I fully understand.
No, it isn't. Yes, it is.
Their battle. It's a dreidel battle.
Dreidel.
So instead of money, it's like a world overrun by Jews. Then they all have one dreidel, and the way that they go is they walk around the world fighting with the dreidels, and whoever's dreidel knocks over the other one wins.
Why hasn't there been a lawsuit about that or something?
It's not run by Jews. What are you talking about?
They stole the idea of dreidel.
They all have
made a whole franchise over it.
Damn Hollywood!
Dreidel is.
Dreidels a Jewish game, right?
Now, Grandpa, you explain dreidel to us.
Explain dreidel.
Beyblade. Rosie's anti-Semitic.
The views expressed by the parent are not affiliated.
Grandpa, tell us about dreidels.
Well, the only thing that I can tell you is they're like little tops, like you said. They're I believe four-sided, and they have the Hebrew alphabet, 4 different letters of the alphabet on the different sides, and you spin them, and it's a child's game. Probably, it is a child's game. It's just
like Beyblade.
And that's
you ever play dreidel?
Pardon?
You ever play dreidel, Grandpa?
Probably, when I was a child, I'd spin it, and it would keep my attention for 10 seconds, and then move on to something else.
Okay, so basically, the difference between dreidel and Beyblade is basically the bays can come in different types. like attack, stamina, defense, balance, and then
Wait,
the
there's 4
Beyblades.
different types. There's 4.
Yeah.
There's attack,
There's 4 different categories.
defense-
Yeah.
There's attack, defense, stamina, and balance.
Well, there's
And
4
then-
different sides of a dreidel.
Okay, and then
Wow.
the difference is the bays have names based on like an animal and a constellation. So it's like a defense type is Rock Leone or Lightning El Drago for attack type.
You know what?
And
I'm
then
gonna
what
do this
happens
for you.
is the people settle feuds by playing Bay, when the way you win is to get your opponents to stop spinning. Or to push it out of the stadium.
I'm gonna do this for you. For all of our
We've gone.
no, this is
What, Grandpa?
important. This is important.
I'm seeing the video on the right side, but the main screen is just black right now.
It's loading. It's loading. This is important.
Yeah.
It's important.
I actually had a Beyblade stadium and a Beyblade set when I was younger, so
did
I'm pretty familiar with that one. You had a little string you had to pull.
Yeah, I had that
You
too.
drop it in
You
there,
watched
and they used to like
them fight.
spin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are
El
dreidels.
Drago-
The modern day
El
dreidel.
Drago's my favorite.
Can y'all see the screen?
We can't see the screen.
We can, yeah.
Grandpa Bart.
I
this
still
is what we're
have that,
talking
I
about.
think.
I'm looking at different. I don't know what the heck they are.
This is a
Dreidels.
Beyblade. So like right here. So like right here is where the Beyblade connects to the
Oh, I
base
see,
here.
yeah.
You pull this
Is there a
little
video?
black cord. I'm gonna find one real quick. You pull this black cord, and that's what sets it off. I'm gonna find you a video.
Can you Google Beyblade dreidel?
The conspiracy
I'm gonna do that for
theorist.
you.
Conspiracy theorist. I'm guaranteed that someone like has a pimped out like Beyblade. It looks just like a dreidel.
If not,
I'd
I'm
like
about
to
to make so
apologize
much
to the
money.
community that
Yeah.
enjoys dreidel for this.
Beyblade modification. The
up your game, dreidel
metal
people.
Fight dreidel. I don't know. How long? It's 2 minutes. We can do
The
that.
second one is Beyblade Moses.
I feel so
The
happy
fourth
now
one was
that I-
Jewish Beyblades.
Guys, this is
I
important.
knew it. See, you were right, Brandon. Wow. Yeah.
All right.
Boy, I
dreidel
taught you
v.
about
Beyblade.
cerebral palsy and apparently Jewish.
Is he modifying
yeah.
the dreidel? Oh, I think he's modifying the dreidel.
Oh wow.
Oh, he's making his dreidel Jewish.
This is a mech.
Or his Beyblade.
No, he's making his dreidel. He's not going to lose any. When do you play dreidel? During Hanukkah?
Hanukkah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
next
that
time he
was-
goes to next time he goes to Hanukkah, he's about to just tear some people up.
Yes, release the power of your base spirit on Hanukkah.
I'm just trying to include Grandpa in all the fun we're having.
All right,
You know.
I don't need to see every piece of the puzzle here. I just
know.
need to see if it works. Is it gonna work? All
Wow,
right,
this
we have a
dude-
blade.
This
The best of
podcast
both
is brought to you by the Beyblade, the Jewish dreidel.
What in the hell? Okay, so yeah. So
Oh, here we go, Grandpa.
Oh wow!
Here
this
we
is a whole
go.
machine. Oh my god! Oh,
Whoa!
That's not a dreidel.
I don't think
For
that was
our
supposed to
audio
happen.
listeners, this video sucks.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe
But
they
it's
aren't meant
basically
to
a
combine.
version of a Beyblade battle with somebody's homemade dreidel.
Oh wait, dreidel schools Beyblade. 10 seconds. We can do this.
Oh, wow.
2.
I still hope that.
And that gross.
Like a dreidel there. That was-
I did not expect a 3-year-old.
So, for our audio listeners, we're watching videos of Beyblades fight dreidels.
Oh, I'm
in
putting
the
them in. They're
Beyblade
gonna be
studio.
a part of it. They're gonna be.
This is crazy.
He said, "Go,
You
Pegasus."
should get some money from the guys that invented the show.
Grandpa, you have any? Yeah, what are you thinking now, Grandpa? What are your final thoughts?
my final thought is that it's 8:33, and you want me to continue?
Please do.
Well,
Bro, we didn't
I
even
think
get
we
to
had a
talk about
very,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Very interesting session,
Devastated.
and I think Benen is a terrific guest to have on our
I
show.
would
I hope
agree
he
with that.
comes on again. And everybody seems real upbeat tonight, which is nice. Phines.
I thought you were being sarcastic before, but now I think you're being serious. Huh?
I am being serious. I'm being
We
very
are.
serious.
We're so
always seem
upbeat.
serious.
Yeah.
You guys, all of you, Brandon.
When
Phines,
we're
Sarah.
upbeat, you look like you're having a what is it? What's
Senior
the word?
moment?
I don't know the medical word. Whatever. No.
I wasn't
not a
sure,
hernia.
though.
He's just trying to cope. Rosie's out here at his neck.
Been, attacking.
He's
not
just
really
trying to
man.
process all the new stuff
little
we're
bit of
teaching him.
Yeah, it's literally like, oh, the kids these days.
But I have gotten educated this evening about different things. I've learned a lot.
Name 3.
And
Okay,
add Yu-Gi-Oh.
Name 3.
Mhm.
Well, one would be the age, how someone is affected by polio or
Cerebral palsy.
cerebral palsy. What basically causes it? A lack of oxygen before birth. And why don't you do number 2, Brandon?
Okay, I learned that people out in the world have bought dreidels and bought Beyblades and then made them duel each other, and we live here. This is where we live.
Yeah.
Like, because if you think it doesn't exist, it everything's been done. Everything. All right, Benen.
Seems like it's
Number 3. What did you learn?
Is Ben
He's frozen.
awake still, or whatever?
He just froze on us.
He fell asleep right when he.
Grandpa
yeah,
and Chill is
fine.
brought to you
What did I learn
by
today? I learned so
George
much.
of the Drake.
I really did too.
I think what I want to say that learned the most
We're
was
just having
my
fun.
favorite.
Calm down.
I think what I'm gonna take away with this is really this energy from like talking to my voice actors. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm like inspired
Get in there.
to learn more. And like, oh yeah, when I do my reading with Phines now, I'm gonna take a deep breath and then go into it because I'll be like this the whole time when I'm reading. So
Yeah, no, you gotta be up, stand up.
gotta be up.
You
Gotta be
not
up.
stand
Gotta
up. You can, but you
that-
know, gotta sit up, look
let that
up.
voice. Ugh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Finest.
Yes.
Do you want to start co-writing some fan fiction for our voice actor friends to do?
Fan fiction for like Pokemon.
I'll do
We
it.
could do Pokemon. We could do Beyblade.
We can
I'm
do
down.
Beyblade.
I'm down for some Beyblade.
I feel like
we
I
have
need
to
some Beyblade now.
I feel like I'm gonna have to really do some research because I know there's a whole there was a TV show of Beyblade I watched for a second when I was a little kid and I don't
with
remember what
Pokemon.
happened.
I could never
So-
get into Beyblade because it was just like it was just too. It was like too anime for me. Like
Yeah, I
I
didn't
say
like
that
it.
watching. I say that having watched Yu-Gi-Oh, I was like, oh, your hair is ridiculous, but you're the only one here like that. But when you turn on Beyblade, it's just all of them, and I'm like, I gotta stop.
I was never really a big fan of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Beyblades. I
my
liked them
God.
as like the TV shows. Like I liked playing the card game. I like playing with Beyblades, but when I watch the TV show, I'm like, this is really dramatic. They're all like 8 years old.
Right.
Everything's life or death.
Later.
Grandpa,
Yes,
I love you.
I love you too, Brandon. And I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. I enjoyed our show, and I think we had a very good show. Why laughing?
Podcasting with Grandpa Bart and Rosie, always on his shoulder. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Grandpa and Chill is brought to you by your hosts, Brandon Fox, Bart Frank, and Phines Jackson. Our producer is Sierra Doss. You can find episodes old and new on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the show, and follow us on Twitter for behind-the-scenes moments you can't get anywhere else.